Have you ever just looked up at the stars or maybe stared at the complexity of a single leaf and just wondered, how does this all work? How does it all fit together? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful answer to that question from the 20th century scholar Said Nursi. We're going to follow the logical journey he lays out in his famous treatise, The Seventh Ray. And it's a path that's going to take us from the vastness of the cosmos right down to the nature of our own minds.
So right off the bat, the author, Said Nursi, gives us a heads up that's also an invitation. He compares this text to a garden with fruit growing at all different heights. He's admitting, yeah, this stuff can get deep, but, and this is the crucial part, he promises that nobody will remain portionless. So our job here is to help you find a piece of that fruit that you can easily grab.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're following the 5 key stages of this journey. We'll start by laying down some logical ground rules. Then, we'll meet this metaphorical traveler and join him on his cosmic quest. After that, we'll listen in on the testimony from creation itself, and then from all of humanity, building up to this huge shift from just seeking an answer to actually knowing it.
Now, before our traveler even takes a single step, the author sets one absolutely critical ground rule. It's all about the fundamental difference between proving something is there versus claiming it isn't. And this one idea, it's basically the lens for everything that follows.
Okay, here's the core idea, and it's actually pretty simple. Affirmation, saying something exists, is a team sport. If you and I both see the moon, our individual sightings come together to create a stronger, shared reality. But negation, that's a solo act. If someone says, I don't see the moon, they're only talking about their own limited view, their own blind spot. They're not saying anything about the moon itself. The logic here is that 1,000 blind spots can't cancel out one person's clear sight.
And now, the journey really begins. We get introduced to our main character, a traveler. But look, this isn't just some character in a story. This traveler is a stand-in for any of us. It's you, it's me, it's any curious person looking at the world, trying to figure out, where am I and what does all this mean?
And this right here, this is the question that kicks everything off. He looks around and sees the universe as this beautifully arranged guest house, or this incredibly complex book, or this vast and majestic kingdom, and he just has to ask, who runs this place? Who wrote this book? Who's the king? This single, powerful question is what drives the entire investigation. So, to find his answer, the traveler starts by listening, not to people, but to the world itself. He goes straight to the source, to the evidence of creation, and he starts with the biggest stage imaginable, the heavens. First, he just looks up, and he doesn't just see stars. He sees this unbelievable display of power and perfect order. You've got these massive celestial bodies, some weighing billions of tons, hurtling through space faster than a cannonball, and yet they all move in perfect harmony. In his eyes, this isn't random chaos, it's a disciplined army. And that army is the first witness to speak.
Then, the traveler brings his gaze a little closer to home, to the very air we breathe, the atmosphere. He sees clouds not just as water vapor, but as messengers, delivering life-giving rain. The wind isn't just air moving around, it's this vital servant that allows us to breathe. For him, every single thing, from a gentle rain to a startling crash of thunder, is a sign of a wise and purposeful will at work.
Next up is the ground beneath his feet, the Earth itself. He imagines it as this incredible dominical ship sailing through space, just packed with life. And the most stunning proof he finds on this ship? The miracle of spring. Every single year, he witnesses a resurrection as countless living things burst forth from what was just dead, dry soil. It's a breathtaking demonstration of creative power.
All right, so after hearing the silent testimony of nature, the traveler turns to a second witness, humanity. But he doesn't just listen to the chatter of the crowd. No, he tunes into the collective wisdom of history's greatest minds and purest hearts.
And what he finds here is just this stunning, unified voice. He sees that the prophets, whose words are backed by miracles, and the scholars, whose arguments are built on solid, irrefutable logic, and the saints, whose knowledge comes from direct spiritual experience, they all point to the exact same truth, the unity of the Creator. It's like this unbreakable threefold cord of agreement that stretches across all of human history.
Now, within this massive chorus of human testimony, one voice rings out as the absolute peak, the final word, the Prophet Muhammad. The argument here presents him not just as another witness, but as the one holding the ultimate decree, the Qur'an.
It's seen as the final, all-encompassing proof that confirms every single testimony that came before it.
So having heard from the universe and from the best of humanity, our traveler finally arrives at his last destination. But this is where something fundamental changes. After looking outward for so long, he has a realization. All the evidence he's gathered is now pointing him toward a much more direct inward path to knowing.
This slide right here illustrates the huge shift in his thinking. The traveler has this big aha moment. He realizes that trying to understand the Creator by only studying creation is like, well, it's like trying to understand the sun by only studying a single sunbeam. He realizes there's a much more direct way. Why not just turn around and look straight at the source of the light itself?
This question pretty much says it all, doesn't it? It captures that whole shift in his journey. He stops looking only at the effects of the Creator, the intricate world, and he starts looking for the Creator's own attributes shining through everything. He now sees absolute power, knowledge, and mercy, not as abstract ideas, but as real things happening everywhere. He moves from just inferring to directly perceiving.
And so, the journey that began with one traveler's simple question concludes with the ultimate testimony, a verse from the Qur'an. This is presented as the final cosmic consensus where the Creator himself, along with the angels and all the bearers of knowledge, affirm the very same truth. The traveler's search ends not in an answer he found, but in a reality that was bearing witness the whole time. And it leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. If the universe is always speaking, how do we learn to listen?